Good evening, everybody. Welcome to City Predicting. Apologies for the delay, but we will be starting things here momentarily. I just walked in after celebrating a glorious day with the family for Mom's 60th birthday. But yes, we are here to preview, discuss, analyze, predict, and wonder what's to come out of AEW Full Gear. So if you all are ready for our feature presentation, stay tuned, and we'll see you on the other side of this very short trailer as City Predicting is about to take way. Stay tuned.
The Jeff Meacham Network's Multiverse of Media. For over 15 years, the recognized symbol of excellence and the standard bearer in coverage of sports and entertainment.
Online entertainment.
NoDQ.com.
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 The people that know more about me know this. I am just a simple man and a lifelong fan of professional wrestling. Damn it! Whether it's the NoDQ Galaxy, the Jeff Meacham Network, the AEW crew, Indie Force, or anything related to For the Win Productions, the gears of wrestling keep on turning, and we are here to give our thoughts, previews, and predictions. Good day to you all, and welcome to our panel for this week's Simply Predicting. What is going on, everybody? I'm taking a page from my color analyst tonight as we bring you in. The gears are fully cocked and loaded. We are kicking it into full gear as we predict and discuss AEW Full Gear that will come to us from the Fabulous Forum in California. But I digress. That being said, before we get into anything, welcome once again, everybody, for the first time or the continued time to City Predicting, the show on YouTube, courtesy of me and Cassidy Studios' Renegade of Wrestling JJ Williams, that we come together to basically talk about the next show, big show in professional wrestling, damn it, and sports entertainment. You know what this is. I'm the Simba Man of the Simba brand and the boys of the Jeff Meacham Network from a great professional wrestling, damn it. And my name is Noah Foster. And yep, this is City Predicting AEW Full Gear. JJ, I literally just got home eating steak, cake, ice cream, Sprite, another Sprite,
What?
potato, a bread with
What?
butter.
What?
Good to see you, man. How you feeling? How you feel about AEW Full Gear?
I'm a mixed bag of emotions about AEW Full Gear because the card looks stacked. There's some things that I question, and of course it's in my backyard and I can't be there. So I'm a real mixed bag right now. Last night's Dynamite was a fantastic show, made me wish I had been there, if for no other reason so that I could have been with the rest of the crowd booing the Bucks out the building. But we'll get there when we get there.
Damn. Fair enough. And again, shout out to everybody out there in the chat. Sean Garner, Daniel, good to see you. Appreciate y'all tuning in. When you watch this live on demand, please subscribe, comment, and tell a friend. And if you want to dictate the conversation, donate to Dictate, as Mr. Reliable says. Of course, the man with his own form of wrestling. Mr. Reliable, Walter Cruz, appreciate him. But again, if you want to dictate the conversation, Super Chat, Cassidy Studios, he monetized. If you, I'm happy to support a friend. Super Chat is as simple as that. We got a big weekend ahead, and it truly kicks off tomorrow, where me and JJ will be giving you five, count of five hours of live Watch 11 action as we will cover and discuss AEW Collision and Rampage with SmackDown to follow before we head into Saturday night, which will be the feature presentation of the weekend for wrestling, not necessarily for the Jimmy Durham Motive of me. I will talk more about that at the end, but I digress. Again, AEW Full Gear. And again, AEW Full Gear is available on all sorts of pay-per-view providers. You get it for the Bleacher Report here domestically. There's YouTube, pay-per-view.com, the Select Dave & Buster's, and other locations. That will also feature the show too. And for those that are asking about the form, I like to make sure everything is truly official. So the form will be out immediately once Collision and Rampage concludes. There are no further surprises, no further shenanigans, no further card changes, no further changes in stipulations. So you all will get the form across the entire Simple Man's multiverse of social media, I assure you, in and out of no DQ, once tomorrow night's festivities conclude. And again, for those that are participating, including me and JJ, here's where you stand in the All Elite League. And you're doing better, to say the least. But right now, James, he's still holding it down in first place with 50 points, followed by Aaron, Walter, and me with good old JM Jeff Meacham and the sharpshooter shooter Jargo also there. But still a very tight race, considering this is not our last stop. One more stop after this.
What frightens me is I'm doing better in the AEW league than I'm doing in the WWE league.
Right?
That's what scares me. And you look at it, there's literally just like a point, separating everybody. There's 1 point between Aaron, Walter, and James. There's 1 point between you, Jeff, and Jargo and Steve-O, and Aaron and Walter. Like, there's
crazy.
1 point between G, Mikey T, TJS, and me. Like, this literally can go any way.
And
it's
again,
one of those things where those bonus points really can add up and make that difference.
Right, but with All Elite Wrestling, there's not a lot of room for bonus because when you talk about the wrestling shows, are straight and narrow. And to answer your question, Sean, one more person might be joining in the festivities, like a JR. We'll see what happens. I might literally save him for the main event. Who knows? And of course, as we are Team All Elite No DQ, the No DQ Galaxy, they are All Elite in their own class too. And right now, Sean Boley is holding it down for the Galaxy at 50 points. But of course, my horsemen of predictions like Christopher Rotz and Mark Griffith and Jeff Chadwick, they're also still very tightly in the race. And of course, I track every one of you, but this is just the top 2 pages of the league. So again, folks, have fun, just enjoy life, and enjoy professional wrestling. Damn it. But without further ado, as I keep uploading the graphics, JJ, my friend, as you and I have a busy freaking weekend too, let's freaking go and get right into it. So as of right now, we have 8 matches. Can you believe that? 8 matches on is it 8? Yeah, it really is. I still can't believe I just said that.
8 on the main card, 1 on the 0 hour.
Yeah, I just want to put that perspective. Do you guys realize, did you know that means that so far this preview has a single digit number of matches? I'm just
until
saying,
tomorrow.
Don't jinx it. But yeah,
we know how TK is. There will be at least one more 0 hour match.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I think I have the perfect bonus question for you, but we'll get there as we start discussing the card.
That's fair enough. And as we know, all titles, the major titles will be on the line. We also know there will be a new signing, and I'm sure we'll talk a little more about that. We'll also talk more about the devil we know versus the devil we don't. Will the true devil show his ugly face? Is MJF better than Switchblade Jay White, the Ultimate Counter versus Counterpuncher? Is Orange Cassidy capable of doing whatever needs to be done to beat Jon Moxley and prove his worth as being AEW International Champion? And we will see if the house always wins under 2 circumstances, at least. But with that being said, let's go ahead and kick things off, since I just uploaded the graphics, see what I did there, with the 0 hour to your point. And again, folks, me and JJ, possibly James, who knows, will be on the call for AEW Full Gear in full after tomorrow's festivities. Further details to come, so please stay tuned the entire weekend for the Japanese generic multiverse of media. Our only 0 hour match for right now is being contested for the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championships, as once again, Maxwell Jacob Friedman, MJF, will defend the gold on his own, it seems, for the time being. And this time it's against the Ass Boys. The Guns of Bullet Club Gold, who have had back-to-back weeks with squash matches where I think that should be more dedicated to the women's division, but I digress. It's one of those things, just like we talk about AEW All In and All Out. Does this match set the pace for the main event? And does MJF get it done on his own 2 times in a row? Or does he finally call on the aid of one somewhat reasonable Samoa Joe? I don't know. JJ, your thoughts on this?
I definitely feel like this match is going to set our pace for the evening when it comes to MJF, the Devil, and Jay White. However, I feel like MJF holding down those tag titles on his own is useless. We've got Final Battle coming up at the beginning of December. Is MJF going to defend the Ring of Honor tag titles at Final Battle by himself? Probably not. We need to move the belts.
Yes.
We're going to have new tag team champions. Guns up. Guns win.
Okay, well, again, with the whole idea of, like you said, is it holding down MJF having both these championships and contesting it by himself? I do agree, but I think this won't be by himself. I truly do think Samoa Joe, whether he asks it or not, Samoa Joe is going to politely lend his services and send an example or a message to Maxwell Jacob Friedman, thus making his mind more heavy ahead of the main event, where pressure is on not only to maintain the AEW World Championship, he owes Samoa Joe that rematch from Arthur Ashe Stadium. So I think that MJF right now is going to retain. Why? Again, Ring of Honor, the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions has been irrelevant kind of since them boys, the Lucha Brothers, hell, even FTR for that matter, kind of lost them. And Ozzy Open, I thought were going to be the next best chance to reset the Ring of Honor Tag Team division. I just don't see the Guns right now part of the Ring of Honor Tag division or holding these titles. I don't think they need to. If nothing else, the Guns for me, they are the character act of Bullet Club Gold. And hey, kudos to them. But I don't think they need a championship. So I think that MJF is going to retain. Daniel with a thought here. I think MJF retains via double DQ. The reason it's one of the Devils will cost the Guns the match. And again, you talked about the whole teasing the narrative. What's the biggest narrative out of this night, JJ? Who is the devil we don't know versus the devil we do? Every time MJF is involved in some sort of scenario, whether it's friend or unique ally, the devil has shown his ugly face on that screen, particularly with an Adam Cole baby that cut a feed. So could the devil right here already be playing influence for the night? Maybe costing the Guns here. It's a fair thought.
It's a fair thought, but to your point about the Guns don't need the belt, the Guns don't need to be as heavily featured in AEW. They can be in ROH and get the Bullet Club Gold spread across both brands there. That's fair. I think that I'm not sure about Switchblade Jay White. I'm still undecided about that yet. We'll get there when we get to the main event. But I feel like the Guns would fit in perfectly with the ROH, landscape. You've got to get the belts off of MJF. He's not going to defend them at Final Battle. Now, what's the point in going into the last Ring of Honor show of the year if one of their belts isn't going to get defended?
Yeah. It's kind of like you put yourself between a
rock and a hard place. Yeah.
Exactly. So,
but Juice Robinson is rock hard. So we got that going for us right there.
Damn it.
The damn honeycomb guy.
Well, you want to talk about the honeycomb guy? Talk about his bi, and I'm going to say maybe bipolar in color partner in life, because we will now change gears into our feature presentation for AEW's leading star as the road to gold goes through Hollywood at the Fabulous Forum. Will we see a timeless presentation and a timeless crowning? This is not Danhausen, by the way. This is simply me stating the fact that I give it to JJ, the filibuster. JJ, timeless Tony Storm is going after the AEW Women's World Championship. This has been one of your favorite presentations in the entire AEW ecosystem. And apparently, she has a huge admirer or a number one fan, if it's such the case. We also know she has a butler. I know Tony Storm is not seeing things in full technicolor, but I'm kind of tired of seeing Hikaru Shida be a transitional champion. And I almost feel like if she loses here, that will be her moniker strictly in AEW. She's just there for a moment, not there to lead. And this character has been leading the women's division. You're not wrong. But that being said, JJ, you're a guy that reviews movies. You're a guy that takes in films. You're a guy that probably could write your own playwright if you wanted to. This is Tony Storm in 2023, not the World of Stardom champion, not the illustrious one, not the outcast. This is timeless Tony Storm. But is her time up on this pursuit for the gold under this character development? What do you have happening here?
Okay, look. I like Hikaru Shida. Her legacy in AEW will never be transitional. She's the longest reigning women's champion.
Right.
It's hard to call that transitional.
Fair.
Yes, her last two reigns, this one and the one prior, may have been transitional. But she still holds the record for the longest reign for the women, at least for the World Women's title.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if Jade eclipsed her date-wise for the TBS title, but still, that was secondary. That wasn't the world title.
As far as a single run, you would be correct because Jade literally had it for over a year. Shida had the AEW Women's World Championship for 1 year to the day, and then she lost to Dynamite Breaker DMD at Double or Nothing 2021. Okay.
Timeless Tony has been my favorite presentation since Jade left. Like, seriously, everything about the way they're doing this character is gold.
Pun intended.
Absolutely, pun intended. And you're going to be in the shadows of Hollywood, California. What better spot for the timeless movie star to reclaim championship gold and ascend back to the A-list than in the shadows of Hollywood? Do you not find it just a little bit ironic that this Mariah May fan showed up 2 weeks before this match?
The glamour and the former World of Stardom Tag Team Champion with Rose Gold alongside Mina Shirakawa in Club Venus forever. But yes.
I don't think it's an accident that she showed up in time for this match.
Timing.
I think that Mariah May is going to help Tony Storm. I think that we get a new AEW Women's Champion here.
It's one of those things where I look at the history of AEW Full Gear. The title changed hands last year when Tony Storm came in as champion and Jamie Hayter, I'm a hater, won the title. In the previous year, the AEW Women's World Championship in 2021 was being defended by Dynamite Breaker DMD against Ty Mello now, of course, former Ty Conti. Ty Conti came within a hair lash of beating Britt for the title. I look at Toni Storm, though, and again, 360 character development. It's almost like, okay, now she's coming in as challenger, but she's reclaiming that glory. I just don't know. It's one of those things where I look at Full Gear, and normally I think about it resets the landscape for AEW in a lot of ways, but we got World's End at the end of the year. And while I do think that will be more primarily focused on MJF, I just think right now there is more to this, filibuster than timeless Toni Storm getting the gold in Hollywood, especially if Mariah May becomes a Mickie James to a Trish Stratus and costs her out of her fandom. There's so much right now in this act already that if she were to lose this, it would be like, person nominated for the Oscar that believes they should have won the freaking reward and they didn't. and they read the paper about the person that won it, and they throw it to the side, have a tantrum, and then they pretty much have a relapse or come back. Why Toni Storm went from illustrious to timeless? I think she stays timeless, but I do think right now that Hikaru Shida is going to surprise us and surprise the timeless Toni Storm here. I'm ready for my close-up. She comes up with a hip attack. Bam! Hikaru Shida catches her running in with the knee. Cut! And I think Hikaru Shida retains like that. I think it's going to be one of those flash situations. And Daniel, I respect your opinion, JJ, as it looks like you're in the spinning. Why are you spinning on my screen? Are you frozen? He might be going reroll, folks. Stay tuned. And as far as Daniel goes, because it's kind of, I'm going to, yep, he crashed. Botch. Let's try that again.
I don't know what happened. No, it wasn't
really
a botch.
Yeah, that was
It
not
wasn't a botch.
Crap.
It's like I lost signal, but it doesn't tell me that I'm losing signal over here. Like I don't know what just happened.
I didn't see the signal. I might forget.
So.
Okay, so that was bizarre. But as far as Jamie Hayter, has to be before All In next year. I think she returns by Revolution. I really do. And I want to see Jamie Hayter and Toni Storm. That was the match I was hoping for this year. But in the meantime, Jamie Hayter, Hikaru Shida, after Shida got decked with Haterade and probably looks to avenge that loss too, I don't mind that either. I think Mariah May and Toni Storm's going to go in a different direction. I don't think they're going to be a duo, at least not for the long haul. So I think Shida retains. I think this is one of those matches that gives us more of an angle than upset, if I'm being perfectly honest. All right. Well, speaking of upsets, hey, JJ, we're out in California. You know what that means. I do wonder if some people might be upset based on the result of this match, and will people be happy if it goes the way they actually do want? Because it's once again time to see who truly is the elite, the elites, and maybe most mature on
You're
this
really going to
pitch.
go there with this right now.
You know what? We're talking about behaviors. We're talking about upsets. Let's go ahead and get the rage out of the way, potential rage. Because honestly, when you look at all the matches on this card, this is one not even for a title, JJ, but it has title implications, and it very well could define the future of, what's the word I'm looking for? The most political standpoint, not named Tony Khan, this company as we know it by most of the fan base, but I digress. Let's just go ahead and get out of the way because, again, this match was literally made last week. It's the Golden Jets, Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho, Alpha and Omega versus the Young Bucks. The Young Bucks win. They, of course, make sure Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho never tag team again. If the Young Bucks lose, they lose their chance at the AEW Tag Team Championships. And right now, they are at their wits' end with this duo and with people calling them immature. And I'm not just talking about people they have been faced with backstage. So, JJ, in your most eloquent way, because I really want to focus a lot of discussion on, I like to think about, the main event. I think about the death match. I think about the match with more meat to them. This is almost one of those things that looks like a political stance. Because I think based on the result of this match and your breathing also included, this is going to sway a lot of people's opinions about AEW going into 2024. So, JJ, what's your thoughts on this?
Fuck you, Noah. See, here's the thing, to quote the great and powerful Jeff Meacham.
Go for it.
See, here's the thing, to quote the great and powerful Jeff Meacham, buy the shirt.
Yes.
I think AEW fucked up last night by announcing that Kota Ibushi was all elite. Because now it leads me to believe that the Golden Jets are going to lose so that the Golden Lovers can be a thing on AEW television. The Young Bucks win.
I think they're not going to do the Golden Lovers thing this soon. I think at the end of the day, the biggest itinerary is the Don Callis family. With the Don Callis family being obliterated the way they was, you know that Don Callis is going to try and rip the heart out of Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho. but I don't think they're going to get the job done in this match. I think it's going to be more of the aftermath. With the fact that you said Kenny Omega's Golden Lovers now signed to AEW, I've been waiting for this match, JJ, and I'm calling it now. Continental Classic, Konosuke Takeshita versus Kota Ibushi. That's the match that's going to define when the Golden Lovers truly are teased, truly as a tag team. Because right now, they're rolling with this agenda with Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega. They're already teasing this whole political debate about the Young Bucks, you're immature children, you need to get things done. No, I think the Young Bucks just, go into more immaturity or maybe fade into obscurity, much to some people's chagrin. I just don't think that the Young Bucks need this win. At the end of the day, the original plot I know people thought of was Young Bucks versus FTR. Not happening. We also fought Young Bucks versus Lucha Brothers. Ray Phoenix is injured. They've gone 2 or 3 different audibles with this whole thing, and I don't think you pulled the gun on Young Bucks versus FTR this soon. I think under the right circumstances, you do run back that classic. But to keep something as grand as it is on paper, you got to build to it. You have to have merit. I think the Young Bucks get humbled, and I think they build their way back up from the bottom. I think the Golden Lovers.
Nope.
Golden Jets, damn it, botch. I think they're going to win, despite the fact Kota Ibushi is now all elite. I think the Golden Jets are going to win right now. They're undefeated as a tag team, and let's keep this in mind. Also, Chris Jericho, Kenny Omega, both former AEW World Champions. Chris Jericho, never AEW Tag Team Champion. He's pursued the goal with, get this, MJF, failed. He tried to pursue the goal with Sammy Guevara, fallout, failed. Now he's trying to pursue the gold alongside Kenny Omega. And these two define basically each other since Wrestle Kingdom 12 before All Elite Wrestling was even a thought in Tony Khan's crazy head. So I think right now this is the direction they're going with Jericho. And again, the king of reinvention, the guy that gets all the accolades. I think they're going to try and make Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega possibly tag team champions. I don't think they're going to succeed, but I think they're going to push towards that. Now, whether or not they face FTR or Ricky Starks and Big Bill on the other side, that remains to be seen. And we've already gotten through the California show, so you can't throw that in my face. Yes, we're in California, but after this, they no longer aren't for quite a period of time. So, I don't think the Young Bucks need to win here. I'm going with the Golden Jets. All right.
I still say it. I still say it. The Bucks are going to win. Sammy Guevara is going to cost Jericho and Omega the match.
You think Sammy's going to come back from his possible concussion?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
He's been gone long enough that he could clear that concussion protocol by now.
I suppose that's fair. But at the end of the day, I just don't know. And honestly, the Young Bucks don't need the AEW Tag Team Championships. They don't. All right. Seriously. Get that up. They don't. There's too many other tag teams right now. They're the Big Bill and everything. They don't. And let's go ahead and switch gears now to one more match before we talk more about the signing, Daniel, because I'm sure JJ wanted to go in whatever direction that meant the Young Bucks weren't going to win. But based on geography and politics, he is going with the maybe, what's the word, predictable narrative? Well, personally, I hope you're wrong. But let's see if you could give us whatever it takes for Orange Cassidy to win against Jon Moxley. As the AEW International Championship is on the line once again. It is Orange Cassidy versus Jon Moxley 2. And this is to try and avenge what many people call an audible scenario back at Offer Ash Stadium, and even before that at AEW All Out. The most prolific champion not named Goofer this year, Orange Cassidy, who of course now is a 2-time AEW International Champion who lost to Jon Moxley back at AEW All Out in Chicago after 31 successful defenses since last year in October. Eat your heart out, Roman Reigns. Lost to Jon Moxley, but Jon Moxley, of course, lost it based on an injury precaution at Offer Ash Stand to Ray Phoenix, who's also now injured after Orange Cassidy, basically in Jon Moxley's words, snuck his way back in. Non-contractual rematch clause, you want to call it, whatever you want to call it, and Orange Cassidy regained the championship. And as we saw this past Wednesday, it's going to take more than an orange punch to put down the Death Rider. And Jon Moxley is looking to obliterate Orange Cassidy or whatever left of him. Got to get what the people want, but at the end of the day, what do the people want? Orange Cassidy as their national champion, or Jon Moxley to obliterate Orange Cassidy? Does Jon Moxley need a national championship? That's a whole different question. JJ, I'm just gonna be perfectly honest with you. You and I called AEW All Out. Great show, but that was the main event, and we both thought that Orange Cassidy didn't need to lose. It almost feels like they're trying to amend that, but in a way, if they do amend that, does that still, correct the past, and does that bring back value to the AEW International Championship? And John Moxley, he's already got. Oh, he crashed. Botch. Let's see what's happening here. Hold that thought. Gonna try and refresh. As he tries to refresh, folks, let's see what you all are gonna say here before I continue my thoughts with him. Daniel in the chat saying John Moxley for the win and new AEW International Champion via submission. Well, I mean, he did obliterate him with the paradigm shift back at AEW All Out. But first, let's make sure the technology's good. JJ, you good, brother?
Check.
Check.
Okay,
Good?
it seems like I'm okay for now.
Oh dear.
I seem like I'm having the same glitches I had last week on open mic night, and I don't know what's going on because it's been good all week.
All right.
So
well,
it's
definitely
frustrating right now.
Don't let it frustrate. It's like I tell my mother. Don't let technology get to you. Let's keep having fun here. And again, I just want to miss the time of day. But yeah, at JJ, does Orange Cassidy have whatever it takes to beat John Moxley? Does John Moxley need the title? What's your thoughts on this?
John Moxley never needed the title.
That I do agree.
I don't understand why he ever beat Orange Cassidy in the first place. I know a lot of people find Orange Cassidy to be hokey. I did myself in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
But Orange Cassidy has proven himself time and time again. Orange Cassidy needs to get that victory back over Mox and just go back to dominating until he can find somebody to drop that title to. It doesn't need to be Mox. Mox needs to be focused on the world title. TNT title at worst. The international title is beneath him.
Fair. Okay. And yeah, it's one of those things where at the end of the day, he's a former multiple-time AEW world champion. And with this Continental Classic coming up, you very well might consider him a participant. But I also consider, dude, John Moxley is way effing overdue for a vacation and deserves one. All right? Seriously. Give Orange Cassidy the rub and take some time off of Renee. He even talked about how he doesn't feel good physically and mentally lately. I think he's coming a bit unhinged personally. So, it's one of those things where it's like, I don't think he needs the title, and I think he deserves some time off. Plus, he already has a match book at Wrestle Kingdom, so, give yourself December to recuperate yourself. That's my thoughts on that. All right, let's go ahead and talk about what is with, and this isn't just AEW, what is with all the wrestling companies doing multi-team title matches, JJ? Is it me, or is that becoming the new standard? I'm just saying. As Ricky Starks and Big Bill defend the AEW World Tag Team Championships against Los Fashion Ingobernables, Bruce and Del Listico, former champions FTR, Dax Harwood, Botch Graphic Department. I saw what happened last night. And Cash Wheeler and the Kings of the Black Throne representing the House of Black, Brody King and Malachi Black, 2/3 and longest reigning AEW Trios champions. At the end of the day, there are no friends, there are no allies, there's just one goal in mind, and that is the AEW World Tag Team Championship. So, JJ, what's your thoughts on this? You got Buffer, you got Fall Team, you got Story Filler, you got maybe 2 or 3 other different ways that this could happen for any team here. What's your take on this?
Let me talk to you.
Go for it, bruv.
The reason FTR lost the titles to Ricky Starks and Big Bill is because they didn't want to drop them to the Bucks. What was the stipulation of that Wrestle Dream match? Could get a tag team title match whenever you wanted it, right?
Correct.
So essentially it's like a Money in the Bank briefcase. Big Bill and Ricky Starks retain. Bucks come out after having defeated the Golden Jets, cash in their opportunity.
That just seems too obvious, and I don't think people want that.
Of course people don't want it, but the Bucks are heading heel.
Yeah, they are heading heel. They're becoming more heel than they
So
were
so the
previously.
people don't want it, but they're in their backyard.
That's
They're
fair.
20 minutes away from PWG territory,
Mm.
where the Bucks were some of the PWG 6 after two of the guys retired and sold their portions.
Fair enough.
They are literally right next door to the same venue where two other PWG talents won tag gold back in April.
Just seems like it just writes itself.
I told you back at Wrestle Dream, the Bucks leave California with the tag titles. They defeat the Golden Jets. They're never allowed to team up again. Ibushi just signed, so you've got the Golden Lovers. Guevara costs them the match, so now you've got Jericho Guevara. You've got Omega with Ibushi, and the Bucks take the titles at the end of this match. Or even insert themselves in the match and make it a 5-team match.
Well, I guess that
But
means
the
they got a better chance
Bucks
of losing.
walk out of the forum with those straps. As much as it pains me to fucking say it,
Breathe, brother.
as
breathe.
much as I want to grab this empty Cheez-It bag that I ate and freaking barf inside of it.
You okay now? You good? You want some burners?
Good.
And just making sure. Tranquilo.
I've got
Well,
my water.
Okay.
And I'm wearing the perfect shirt for this. I got my Disney Villains shirt on.
Oh, damn you. That's a whole different conversation. I got Gatorade. That being said, it's one of those things where I think House of Black is going to feud with Los Fashion Monopolies, and I think FTR is still going to go after Ricky Starks and Big Bill. I think Ricky Starks and Big Bill do take advantage of the field and come out retaining. Now, when they are challenged for them, I don't think it's going to be the same night. I think they lead the farm still as the champs and will dictate the future or maybe their end, maybe towards World's End as we go into December. But I do have the chance retaining because right now it's warfare right now in the tag team division on Collision. You're literally looking at the Collision tag team division, if we're being perfectly honest. All four of these teams have been heavy factors on Saturday nights, which I find all right. But either way, I do think the champs will retain on Saturday night. So I got the chance to retain. Now, who they pin, I look at this entire field and I think only one person can eat a fall here. That's Jalistico. I think it's surprise roll up on Jalistico by Ricky Starks. Personally, that's what I think it's going to end by. Because you're not going to pin Roosh. And FTR are coming back with a vengeance. More so after House of Black right now, who's already attacked them. And
maybe
again,
Brody Keene.
Okay, that'd be crazy.
Jalistico and Brody Keene, I feel, is the X factors to taking the pin.
I don't think I've ever seen Brody King pin, actually, now that I think about it. Has he been pinned? Someone could look that up. Stat boy! Anyway, go check out Sports Bar. But yeah, I got Ricky Starks and Big Bill retaining. Such a stupid name. Just such a stupid name.
Agreed.
All right. Well, okay. What time are we at? Okay, cool. Hey, JJ, I got one thing to tell you. Shit's about to go down. Hangman Adam Page versus Swerve Strickland 2 Texas Death Match. What the fuck are these two about to do to each other bodily? This isn't lights out, but JJ, this is beyond personal. This is a vendetta at this point with these two. And after the fact that Heyman, I gotta be honest, that's probably one of Heyman's greatest promos to date. After that promo last night and Swerve didn't get to say a single word, I think the ball's in Swerve's court. Anything goes, man. It's either ref stoppage or knockout or tap out. No pinfalls. What happens here?
Okay. First of all, why the fuck is it a Texas death match in California?
I don't know. I was
Do
hoping
we
for
need to
myself.
break out the atlas and do a freaking geography lesson?
I,
Second of all,
okay, continue.
second of all,
Yeah,
Hangman Page's promo last night
he went there.
reminded me of one from a couple years ago. The one that started everything with CM Punk.
I was figuring you were gonna go there. Yeah, I was figuring you were gonna go there.
Stop me when I'm telling lies, though.
You're not.
Adam Page is supposed to be the baby face. He came off like a uber heel in that promo.
Yeah.
So by proxy, as great of a promo as you claimed it is, I feel that promo was hard garbage. Because he's supposed to be the good guy. You've got Nana coming to the ring doing his dance. You've got him snatching the microphone. You've got him bringing up personal details like Swerve's fiance and kids.
I didn't think he was gonna go
Hangman Adam Page is lucky that Swerve didn't gut him like a tauntaun in the middle of the Toyota arena.
Do you remember the stipulation, JJ? If he did, they both would have been suspended for the rest of 2023 and the match would have been canceled.
I understand that. But now you're walking into a death match with Swerve in that mentality.
For those that don't know, this is also the same
You
guy
done
that was
fucked up.
Yeah. JJ, can I ask you a question? You've been a wrestling fan for a long time, right? You know there's been more than WWE. Were you ever familiar with a show called Lucha Underground?
I never really watched it, but I know that it existed, yes.
Swerve went through a war called Hell of War that involved him and AR Fox Mask going through a freaking placed pane of glass that left shards of flesh off both men. It made 3 stages of hell look like a day at kindergarten. This is what Swerve can become when allowed to be or pushed to do so. And to your point, this is Texas Deathmatch, but please continue.
There's part of me that looks at this and is like, okay, Swerve got the first one. Page has to get this one. As much as it pains me. But when I look at the promo that was cut on Wednesday night, last night, I'm like, but how can Swerve lose, though?
That's my thought.
Like, they set it up for Page to lose. But Swerve has to lose. Swerve has to get the one up by Page. That way they can move to the rubber match. Because if Page eats 2 losses in a row to the same dude, he's going to turn into a bigger crybaby bitch than the Bucks.
Damn.
Stop me when I'm telling lies.
You're not. But we've also seen previous stories in AEW end on 2 matches. So again, AEW doesn't always follow the traditional philosophy of 50-50 booking.
I know, but the fact that they're billing both this and the OC Moxley match as round 2 leads me to believe that there's going to be a round 3 in both of these futures. Whether it's Winter It's Coming, whether it's World's End, where the AEW landscape will end for the year before the new year begins.
Change as we know it, and we'll leave till
I just have a feeling we're gonna get that third match. So we gotta give this one begrudgingly to Hangman Adam Page.
So my thought process is this. Hangman Adam Page has already been involved in multiple Texas death matches. He's overcome the likes of Adam Cole and Lance Archer. Both of those was why he was AEW World Champion. And earlier this year, at Revolution, he overcame Jon Moxley and nearly hanged the man, quite literally, with a steel chain. But Jon Moxley, him and Adam Page, they left it all out there by themselves. I think Prince Nana is going to get involved here once again. And I think right now, this is one of those things where you look at Swerve's track record of big wins on big shows. He hasn't had a major win since Wrestle Dream prior to, if I'm being quite honest here. I think Swerve does deserve this more. And again, I think the Elite changes as we know it after this show. I always say that Full Gear resets the landscape. It kind of like teases what you think could happen going up to Revolution. But now we got World's End and this Continental Classic. You got to consider that one, if not both these men, whether in victory or defeat, are going to be involved in that in some capacity or maybe cost the other. The whole reason we got this match in the first place is because Heyman cost Swerve a chance, damn it, to face Christian Cage for the TNT Championship, though I did get to see Bryan Danielson live, and that was fucking awesome. And then we saw what happened when he invaded his house, and Heyman tried to kill the man off stage for a table. And yes, I get it. Heyman's supposed to be the babyface. He's the father that's defending his family's honor, his child's pride, okay? He's also the guy that literally has been the anxious millennial cowboy who more people thought he was more over while drinking. And that was before he became AEW World Champion. Heyman and Adam Page hasn't sown this type of light or fire, even if it's a negative fire. Then again, fire burns. It's not supposed to feel nice, just saying. And I don't know if it always burned always. Heyman hasn't been like this, to your point, in a long time, at least 2 years. It's again blurring that line of, is this professional or is this truly personal? You know, and I would like to think that if Swerve wins here, it's more of the latter, because it means Swerve is going over and his stock continues to rise. That's why I don't think Swerve can lose here. I think Swerve has to win. And under Texas Death Match, how he wins, your guess is as good as mine. I fear, though, that one of these men might leave in an ambulance, though, considering what both these men are capable of doing under extreme circumstances. This is one of those matches that has me excited, but a little bit on the edge of my seat. If I remember correctly, when we got done calling Jon Moxley and him and Adam Page, me and James there this year, the simple thing you had said afterwards was, yeah, damn. I feel like you're going to say more than that after this one. But I'm going with Swerve here. We're split once again. I'm going with Swerve. And honestly, this is one of my matches I'm looking forward to the most because I like violence. Anyway, that's a whole different conversation. But you know what I also love? And Jeff Meacham and you and I are advocates of it in the highest degree too. That is, of course, the perspective in the representation and the presentation of women in professional wrestling. Damn it! And I know we talk about the World Championship, which again, it's good to see. But this preview has 2 women's matches I like to see, and both have a compelling story. JJ, I'm not going to say nothing else. I'm just going to ask you this. Does the house win? Does blue go black? Or is stacked still where it's at? For it's a triple threat for the TBS Championship. The floor is yours, my friend. Who do you got?
You know me. You should know me by now. I have never felt that stat is where it's at. Mm-hmm. I have always felt that stat is whack. I feel like as much as I love Sky Blue, I think the house wins here. I think Sky Blue fully solidifies her turn, allowing Julia to get the victory. Julia actually pins the champ. Ooh. That way there's no question.
You know,
Julia Hart is where it's at right now.
It's a fair argument. Honestly, with character development, it's a fair argument. Okay.
I love Willow. I love Sky. Red Velvet just kind of came back out of nowhere. She wasn't going to be in this.
Stir it up.
But Julia Hart is the most compelling character in the women's division that isn't named Toni Storm.
Timeless Toni Storm. Not botched, but just saying.
And I have both of them walking out of LA as the champions.
I've also noticed in the past, Full Gear has also been that show to have titles change hands. Look, you know what I'm about. I've been about Stat, because Stat has been where it's at for me. She's the strongest individual in the AEW Women's Division, and she's shown her merit as champion, being that bitch twice in what you again called both women's best match, respectfully. And since then, she continued to show her potential and rise to the occasion. But the outer narrative here that's bigger is Julia Hart and Sky Blue. I'm just waiting for the two to miss each other in the face and see what happens when blue and black mix together. Or do they both come together and blow the mist in Chris's face and turn it into a impromptu one-on-one match? Chris Statlander, I saw live, beat Sky Blue one-on-one, defend the TBS Championship successfully. We, of course, called, like you said, Julia Hart came this close off the moonsault, pinning Chris Statlander because Statlander was able to overpower her and successfully retain. Both these challengers have lost against the champion under a singles affair. And since then, while Julia Hart continued her ways as the House of Black, we've seen Sky Blue continue to become even more aggressive and hungry in nature. The only one she stands for at this point is her friend Willow. And in a triple threat match, JJ, there are no disqualifications. And you know Brody King could play in the corner. It's one of those things where, again, in triple threat, you have Buffer, you have Fall Person. But I don't think the story here is the title. I think the story here is still Julia Hart and Sky Blue. What's still confusing me, and I'm glad we got Collision Rampage about the mic clear this up a little bit more for me, is, again, is Sky Blue truly about herself, or is she going to succumb, like you said, to the dark side and join Julia Hart? And do you get an impromptu tag feud in the meantime? Maybe it's Willow and Chris Statlander versus Sky Blue and Julia Hart. And even in that scenario, where does the TBS championship lie? And again, Chris Statlander, she just challenge anybody, anyone, at any time. And I do think there are still more potential challengers for Chris Statlander to try and go defend the title against. And that kind of leads me to believe that they might still go along with her. But I also think that Chris Statlander, she maybe should go after the AEW Women's World Championship, because I think she's proven her worth in the TBS title. I'm really torn, but I will say this. I don't think Sky Blue is winning the championship. I think Sky Blue influences the decision, and that's what determines whether we have a retaining or a new champion. But I just don't know right now if I'm ready to see them give Julia Hart this title. I'm still leaning towards Stat retaining by a margin, but go ahead.
This is how I would book it.
Go for it.
I would set it up for Sky Blue to be ready to do the mist. You have Stat holding Julia so that Sky Blue can get her payback. Julia moves, mist to Stat. Julia takes advantage.
But she is technically, no, Sky Blue is kind of heelish in her own ways too, but she is truly the heel in this match. And again, being the manipulator.
She's going heelish. She's going heelish because of succumbing to the mist.
Right.
So you think that maybe, just maybe, she's going to get revenge for getting misted. Gives it to Stat instead and proves that she was with Julia all along.
The long game. And again, the last time we had a women's triple threat match for a women's championship, what happened at Revolution? Jamie Hayter won via roll-up, and Ruby Soho turned and joined the other participant that was involved in the match, Saraya, in her group, the Outcasts. It literally could be a similar dynamic here, but I'm just so torn because at the end of the day, I don't know what that means for Chris Statlander, and I still think they could do more with Julia Hart and Sky Blue. I'm honestly waiting to see if this becomes a fallout that becomes Julia Hart versus Sky Blue one-on-one. And that's another reason why I think that Chris, at the end of the day, she's going to retain, because at the end of the day, I don't think it's about the title. It's about more than that, I think. And the title is like an accessory, which is not a bad thing particularly, because the story has been very compelling, and it's making 2 stars, Julia Hart and Sky Blue. While Julia Hart already showed her star power and her potential against Chris Statlander one-on-one at Wrestle Dream. But I don't know, man. I know I said Hikaru should retain in the. I feel like either both these titles retain or one of them change hands. That's how torn I am. But that's also how invested I am in the AEW Women's Division potential. But for now, I'm gonna go out on my golden chariot in a blaze of glory. I'm gonna say that Chris retains. I'm just gonna stick with it. I'm gonna see what happens. If I lose the point, it might lose me the league.
I'm not surprised that you're gonna ride with Stat. You've been ride or die with her, God, for as long as I've been doing this with you. Even back when Jade was champion.
Damn right.
You know, Jade's going to retain because Stat's going to be the one to come back and take it from her. Stat's going to be the one to take it from her. Stat's going to be the one to take it. It was supposed to go to Stat.
I was right.
Like you've been on this kick, but like you don't want to make the same mistake that AEW booking made with Jade, and that she was so dominant of a champion that what do you finally do with it? You know, how long was I talking about an option C with Jade because she had ran through everybody? You know, you're starting to get to that point with Stat, and you even said yourself she needs to be elevated to the women's title, the world title. You get the belt off of her to either Sky or Julia. Julia preferred because, like I said, her character is the most compelling.
Right.
And then by Revolution, she's in the world title picture.
You know what's really, you know what else is really throwing a monkey wrench in this for me? World's End. We know we have a Continental Classic, a mini G1. That's the men.
Mm-hmm.
What are we doing with the women in this show is a whole different question. No. I've done it too many times before, and this is AEW, and usually this is more my strength here. I'm going to go for it, because AEW also surprised us. If AEW has shown us something like Impact Wrestling, they're not that damn predictable at times. I'm going to see what happens here. I think there is going to be a turn. I think Sky Blue is going to go dark, but I think that Stat is going to retain. And I'm just going to hold out with that. But either way, this is definitely one of my top 3 matches I'm looking forward to. Because again, this could go so many different ways, and I'm all in on it, personally.
Okay, I'm gonna put you on the spot.
Go for it.
I'm gonna put you on the spot in regards to tomorrow and Disney Oki.
What are you doing?
There was a question in the chat earlier today when it came to doing the dance that goes along with Eye to Eye. If Stat loses the belt, will you do the dance? If Stat retains, you don't have to. You just still have to do the singing that was already paid for. But if Stat loses the title, will you do the dance along with Eye to Eye?
I officially declare Chris Statlander as my prediction to retain. If she does not, I will fulfill the obligation of doing a song and dance number to Eye from a Goofy movie during Disney karaoke. Challenge accepted.
There we go. Okay.
What the fuck did I just do? I just burned myself. Well, YOLO, you only live once, and talk about going out in a blaze of glory. It's showtime, not quite for the last time, but hey, if there's one thing we know about Sting, never mind. It's 6-man tag team action as Christian Cage and Luchasaurus and Nick Wayne take on the trio of Adam Copeland, Darby Allin, and Sting in a trios match. And this really became personal when Adam Copeland's neck was threatened by his longtime former friend and tag team partner, the patriarch, as many call him, Father of the Year my ass, Christian Cage. And Darby Allin wants to pretty much tear apart Nick Wayne after insulting his own mother. How dare you? Disrespectful twat. And then Luchasaurus is the right hand of destruction. And you have Sting, who, again, this guy is impervious to pain. And it'll be showtime for the last time come Revolution 2024. So, all right. This is one of those matches where it's like, seriously, do we need to predict the actual result? What the hell is going to happen here is the better thought. Are we actually going to see Adam Copeland and Christian Cage engage with each other. Are we going to see Christian Cage speared out of his damn boots finally? How much vengeful just punishment does Darby Allin, who I think still wearing a compression shoulder brace, JJ, tries to unleash against Nick Wayne, who betrayed him? It's one of those things where, again, Sting on pay-per-view, undefeated in AEW. It's as simple as that for the result. But what does it lead to? That's the question. And I think at the end of the day, it comes around only, particularly in the long haul, Christian Cage and Adam Copeland. So what's your thoughts on this trios match?
You aren't going to have Steen lose prior to his last match. You're not going to have Adam Copeland lose his pay-per-view debut.
Mm-hmm.
What does it lead to? World's End, Christian Cage versus Adam Copeland for the TNT title.
Oh, gosh.
Possibly even in a ladder match, considering their history.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
And if I'm Tony Khan, World's End, Steen and Darby versus whoever is the AEW Tag Team Champions.
Wow.
Have Steen and Darby had a chance at them yet?
No, they haven't. And they're still undefeated.
And Steen's been with the company for how long?
Winter is coming 2020.
So damn near 3 years Steen has been in the company.
Yes.
Him and Darby have teamed for pretty much every match Steen has been in. I don't think Steen's had a one-on-one yet.
Nope.
Steen hasn't lost on pay-per-view, so they're undefeated as a tag team.
Yes.
3 years in the company and they haven't had a shot at the belts.
Nope.
World's End, Steen and Darby for the tag titles.
What a moment that would be.
Put the straps on them. Have them lose them at a Dynamite Go Home or something to Revolution. You know, something on the road to Revolution.
Fair.
And since we all feel Darby will be Steen's last opponent, that's the setup. They get the titles. They lose the titles. Darby blames Steen for being old and not able to keep up anymore.
Damn.
Set it up. Steen and Darby at Revolution.
I mean, that's one way to take the respect out of the match because people do think that's the most obvious end game for Showtime for the last time, but I do wonder is there a way that could surprise us? And again, it's one of those things where I know we'll talk about more when we get into 2021, maybe our vision or our resolutions after final resolution for Impact Wrestling. By the way, just so you know, folks, Impact is recorded, but if you can, please remember, don't sleep with Impact Wrestling and wake up for TNA. Thank you. That being said, yeah, it's one of those things where I do think inevitably you are going to get Adam Cole versus Christian Cage, and he hasn't defended the TNT Championship since beating Darby Allin with the help of Nick Wayne back at Wrestle Dream. So you got to find another challenger for him. But also, again, Continental Classic. Could you see either of Adam Copeland or Christian Cage involved in that? We have no idea what the field is. We know it's going to be 2 blocks of 6, and 1 block has the American Dragon Bryan Danielson, 1 eye or not. So it's one of those things also we don't know what the Continental Classic sets up for. Will it be like a G1 which sets up for a World Championship match, not obviously the night of, but maybe the first show of the new year, New Year's Smash? It's one of those things where it's like, I kind of don't know what AEW's direction for December is. And obviously, they got to tell us who the participants are in this Continental Classic at the pay-per-view because you and I are covering the Thanksgiving edition of Dynamite next Wednesday, and that starts the damn tournament. So
think about this, Noah.
What?
What if, ... What if
Go for it.
the team to dethrone Steen and Darby for the tag titles are Adam Copeland and Christian Cage?
That would be quite a
It'll be about 6 months since Adam debuted. Adam always worked better as a heel.
Yes.
6 months is a good amount of time before you pull that trigger and turn him.
And he's rated R. Rated R, you don't associate with babyface. I'm just saying. And also to your point, Christian Cage came into AEW at Revolution 2021. Just saying. Just saying. Just putting the pieces together. Long term. Again, it's one of those things that's long talk, but it's a fair take because what did Adam Copeland says? When Luchasaurus and Nick Wayne suck all the knowledge out of it, they will turn on you, but I will be the guy there to pick you up. And even under this more vengeful demeanor, I still think at the end of the day, Adam would do that. And I do think that Nick Wayne and Luchasaurus are going to turn on Christian Cage, probably when he drops the TNT Championship. Whether or not it's Adam Copeland, based on this scenario, I don't see that to be the case. So that's a whole different story. But yeah, regardless, this match, you don't bet against Sting if nothing else. It's as simple as that. All right. Before I get to our main event, as we know, Tony Khan is going to have, as he hasn't done in a while on pay-per-view, a new signing. And at this point, all we know is it's somebody recognized worldwide by the AEW fan base. Now, a lot of names have been thrown around. It's not Kota Ibushi, as we know he just got all the to your point. Again, I hope your politic nonsense does not work for the night. We know that people have talked about one of the Nemeth brothers. We know people have talked about Shannon Benjamin. People have thrown names like Sammy Callihan. More particularly, people have thrown money at this with one Monet. Just saying. But, again, I think my friend Keith said it best in the HW View, JJ. If it's not Monet, would you consider this a bust? It's in LA, for Pete's sake.
I don't know if I would consider it a bust if it's not Mercedes Monet. You know, like what are Sasha's roots in LA? Seriously.
Her cousin Snoop Dogg, and that's about as much as I know.
Okay. So I'm thinking of it like this. Some people are saying Will Ospreay. To my knowledge, Ospreay's contract doesn't end until February. Plus, he's appeared enough on AEW television that it wouldn't be a huge surprise.
Exactly.
People are saying Mercedes. Mercedes just gave an interview saying that she will be with the company in 2024, but she's still rehabbing. So I don't think it's her. Someone on my show this morning said, what about Tessa Blanchard?
Tessa Blanchard?
I don't know if she's been able to get that stigma off of her, that funk.
I don't think so. I'm just going to leave it alone. Continue.
I don't know how close we are to the 90 days for some of the ex-WWE guys. But I also know that when Nick Nemeth is going to be in Hollywood doing a show with his brother Ryan, who's already under AEW contract that weekend. Could the show-off make his debut? All Elite to show the world as we head toward the world's end.
Truly shows what he's capable of.
The other name, going back to the 90 days, as far as somebody that I think would be well respected, what about the gold standard? What about Shelton Benjamin?
How many times have I said to you verbatim that Shelton Benjamin is so damn underrated, underappreciated? Continue.
But if we're being real, TK needs to stop signing people.
Agree.
So, who is it? Don't know. You know, could the person that he signed be the man that's under the devil mask?
That's what I'm thinking, which is why I decided to save this prior to our main event. Because again, I think that plays into that heavily. And apparently, we know the devil has 3 accomplices, I think I counted, and they're all legit. with them. They're not like jobbers or independent workers. Apparently, this is a legit thing that's being created here. It's almost another group, but who is the devil and his minions? I don't have a damn clue.
I still am holding to David Finley as the devil. After our discussion on open mic night and seeing an image of what David Finley looks like, looking at the height, the build, thinking about the height and the build of the devil.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the other people could be some of the Bullet Club Japan contingent. Then going and doing my homework and reading about how David Finley kicked Switchblade Jay White out of the Bullet Club, how David Finley had says that the only true Bullet Club is the Bullet Club in Japan.
Yep.
There are 4 members of Bullet Club Gold. There's the devil and 3 people, making a total of 4 people here. Maybe the real Bullet Club is here to finally take out the fake Bullet Club.
You want to know what's funny about you mentioning that, JJ, when it comes to David Finley's Bullet Club? You want to know what his other members actually are, the War Dogs? LA Dojo students.
Ding, ding, ding. So where better to do the reveal than at the Forum in Los Angeles, California?
Jay White World's End. Yeah.
I still think that it's going to be David Finley.
They've been stacking the bodies, and that's what David Finley says. If you can't bring gold, bring bodies. And Anthony Bowen's body went through a damn glass window. Jesus. That was seen that spot. I think you're really on point there, especially if the devil shows his face during the main event. And at the end of the day, David Finley, Jay White, no love lost into being shillelagh'd in the head. The only thing that's been missing from this picture is a shillelagh. So at the end of the day, I think you're right. But why don't we go ahead and further dive into the aspects?
And it was Daniel who said during For the Love of Money or Love of Wrestling earlier that it was could be Tessa Blanchard.
Appreciate you, Daniel. And go check out For the Love of Wrestling, folks, right here at Casa D18 Studios on a weekly basis, your day after the day of the wrestling show, where, of course, that's also following No DQs, Aaron Risk reviews, and, of course, our friend, affiliate of the Multiverse of Media, Tatsula at Raiders of Wrestling is Wrestling Time. So please support all that if you can. Well, JJ, we've had a very unique conversation. We've had a lot of big what is. We've had some unique constructive arguments, some disagreements. We've had some subtle back and forwards. We have, I like the fact that we're polarized opposites here on several of these matches. But let's go ahead and get right down to it. It's time to talk about and discuss our main event of the evening, where we will see who truly is on another level. Simply put, 1 year, practically to the day, Maxwell Jacob Friedman, MJF, defends the AEW World Championship against his toughest adversary to date, the ultimate counterpuncher to professional wrestling, the Catalyst, Switchblade Jay White. And Jay White is still undefeated, unpinned, and unsubmitted since arriving in AEW this year in April. Currently in possession of MJF's Triple B, but he is not the champion. But many people right now might truly think we are about to breathe with the Switchblade in his new era. And MJF says he's fearful, but he's going to take that fear head on. Because 1 year ago, he didn't give a damn about nobody but himself. Now he gives a damn about everybody because he's our scumbag. He just hopes he doesn't hurt us in the process, how anyone else has been hurt around him. JJ, here we freaking go. And again, World's End will be in MJF's hometown, and it's the last show before the self-proclaimed bidding war of 2024. And I know you're going to have that also in your diatribe. The floor is yours, my friend. Who leaves the forum as the AEW World Champion? And is he truly the devil or just a devil?
I'm so torn on this one.
I don't blame you.
Because I like Max. Arguably the best homegrown talent AEW has produced. Huge fan of Switchblade Jay White, though. As is stupendous Noah Foster if you watch his video.
Accurate. Dennis, this is my most exciting match
But-
so far this month in November, but I digress. Continue.
If I remember correctly, the Devil first appeared while Jay White was in the ring. There have been numerous sightings since then. But Switchblade Jay White was like the first person that the Devil and the Devil's crew went after.
Backstage, after he left MJF and made his intentions known, he wants the AEW gold after Adam Cole said he is injured.
So that is why I feel that this all is going to come back and cost Jay White the match. But what if MJF actually loses it?
Exactly.
Then you walk into World's End in MJF's hometown. MJF as the challenger going into the last match of 2023 and the bidding war of 2024. If Max loses, you can pretty much assume he's gone. If Max wins, then you would pretty much assume that he's re-signed.
You would think.
But I feel like Max has still got too many challengers breathing down his neck. If MJF loses, if Jay White loses, you've still got Wardlow.
Yes.
You've got Joe.
Yes.
You've got whoever the Devil is. You've got Cole, who no doubt still wants his third match.
Yes.
You've got Roddy, who's beyond pissed at the way that MJF has been treating him.
And his friend, Adam! It's a lot to think about because, again, I would say I'm just at the epicenter of AEW right now because he has everybody right now gunning after him. He has nobody at his side, and the only person that wants to be at his side wants his title.
And that's another reason why I think the Guns are going to win earlier in the night, because I don't think Bullet Club Gold is going to lose both matches. And the Guns can win without Switchblade losing momentum, especially if the Devil comes out and costs him the match. Then you've got the Guns with tag titles, and if there's 3 or 4 other dudes with whoever the Devil is, that's another potential challengers to the Guns for the titles.
Alex Coughlin and Gabe Kidd are literally a tag team. They were the former NWW Strong Tag Team Champions, to your point.
So I am going to say MJF retains, not because he's better than Jay White and he knows it, not because he's our scumbag, but because the Devil costs him.
The devil you know versus the devil you don't. The enemy of my enemy is my enemy, not my friend. And at the end of the day, MJF, he's lucky to escape with the win and actually hold the championship. It's really crazy, though, to think about last year. The match ended with William Regal giving the brass knucks to MJF and knocking Jon Moxley out. And 1 year later, we are rooting for MJF. What a paradigm shift in this industry. Yeah, and again, Wardlow wants revenge against MJF, wants to take everything from him. And I guess everything is not necessarily just the title, though MJF has said the title literally means everything to me. Mm-hmm. This is my legacy. This is my blood, my sweat, my tears. I could go back and watch that promo he did with Adam Cole again. And as I said, Jay White, he is a big match player, big match performer. He lost to Kota Ibushi at 46 minutes at Wrestle Kingdom 15. Oh, Lord, help me. He lost to Kazuchika Okada this year at Wrestle Kingdom 17. And he also lost to Eddie Kingston at Battle of the Valley, which excommunicated him, to your point, from New Japan Pro Wrestling and that Bullet Club in the first place, courtesy of David Finlay. When it comes to Jay White losing, he's protected strong in defeat because of the moment he creates and the story he tells. That's why he's the ultimate counterpuncher of the industry. So I agree with you definitely that I think MJF is going to retain, but I just wonder. We talk about, yeah, like you said, okay, David Finlay's the devil. Yeah, that kind of just makes the obvious direction now for freaking Jay White and who he goes after next. And you get a Bullet Club Civil War ahead of Wrestle Kingdom. Because let's not forget, Wrestle Kingdom is a a day after a Wednesday night Dynamite. They're not on the same day, Jesus. But you know it's going to affect the roster, aka Brian Danielson and John Moxley are already going over there. I'm just saying. But I'm just really curious to see at the end of the day what awaits Maxwell Jacob Friedman at World's End, who tries to end his world. And is it Adam Cole? And we just truly don't know it. While I do think Adam Cole and Britt Baker are a stretch to be the devil, I wouldn't rule it out because, like you said, Adam Cole. And here's the difference with Adam Cole and MJF only having 2 matches. The first one was a draw. The other one was a definitive win. In my opinion, that's really a one-match true result that carries the story. They need to run it back at some point. And this definitely takes it in a different direction because you're pushing MJF's moral boundaries that you didn't think he had. If nothing else, the later story of AEW has been the newfound shown humility of Maxwell Jacob Friedman. And I do think World's End, I wonder if he still has that or does he revert back to the old MJF because he's in Bizarro World, so it doesn't matter. He's going to be treated like a king either way. But yeah, I definitely have MJF regaining his title physically, but in reality, I still have him retaining. And I'm very curious to see, does this pay-per-view end in a way where we're about to go off the air and devil again, but he doesn't show his face, or does he show it? Or do the lights go out, the arena goes pitch black? Do we learn MJF's next challenger? Does a surprise, not even signed, show up and confront MJF? Or like you said, is it all just Bullet Club War Dogs that surrounds Jay White and he's obliterated? Either way, I think Full Gear is going to leave us with a lasting impression that will determine a lot of December, but will tease the early goings of 2024 as we end 2023. And Daniel believes here that this Saturday Night Full Gear, we will know who the Devils are. Devils. Oh, I see what he's doing there because there is that speculation. Well, there's more than one person underneath that devil mask. Bullet Club War Dogs all do have a similar build, by the way, too. Just saying. Either way, JJ, you and I are in for a very interesting night on Saturday night, to say the least. So if you're ready to kick into Full Gear, we'll definitely do that. But before that, we'll go ahead and get ready to move into second and third gear, as tomorrow we're going to die somewhat because we're calling Collision and Rampage, followed by SmackDown. So why AEW gives you a 2-night spectacular, the Japanese Networks of Media will give you a 2-night spectacular. It all starts tomorrow with Collision and Rampage and SmackDown called back to back to back. Yes, we will figure out SmackDown in second capacity, but I digress. And of course, Saturday we'll be back with you to call AEW Full Gear pay-per-view and get into some wild, I'm pretty sure going to go all night long to a degree, shenanigans on karaoke night, on open mic night, courtesy of Disney,
yeah.
hosted by the Renegade JJ Williams, but I digress. But that being said, JJ,
karaoke night just got even more interesting because if Chris Statlander loses the TBS title, Noah will be doing the dance to Goofy Movies Eye to Eye. He's already got us seen it. That was already super chatted in advance by our good buddy Big Baller G, who's not able to be there. That is locked in. He has to seen it. So come to Open Mic Night Disney Karaoke to hear the simple man with the spectacular voice seen eye to eye by Powerline from a Goofy movie. And if Chris Statlander loses the title, he will be doing the dance while he sings it.
Lord help me, and Lord help all Elite Wrestling. If JJ's blood doesn't boil, mine will. One thing's for sure, somebody's going to be enjoying this night And somebody's going to have a lot of rage inside by the end of that night. But I digress. JJ, always a pleasure, my friend. We got a hell of a week ahead for us in the meantime. But as always, we like to do, before everybody have fun and do. And again, folks, you can super chat. You want us to talk about anything else at Cast 80 Studios, give us a super sticker. Anything else you want to plan up besides tomorrow night and Saturday night? And of course, where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram, the Renegade JJ Williams, on the Twix, ROWJJ Williams, YouTube, Casa D18 Studios. Thank you to everybody who is tuned in watching right now. Make sure you subscribe to the members only section of the Casa D18 Studios channel. $5 a month, all kinds of exclusive content, retro match calls, so much more in store. Make sure you guys tune in to For the Love of Wrestling every Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern, where I recap the week in professional wrestling. Damn it. The only thing I am not currently covering is Impact. If I do begin that, once Impact Wrestling resumes TNA, then that will be my Friday show, and I will be on 5 days a week.
Good Lord.
Monday is the weekend shows. It's Collision, it's Rampage, it's SmackDown. Tuesday is Raw. Wednesday is NXT. Thursday is Dynamite.
Nice.
Of course, make sure you tune in next week. Time and date Tibid. Noah and I will be back here with our simple take of AEW Full Gear.
Time to change.
But yeah, it's lots of good stuff. And then again, make sure you guys tune in Saturday for our watch along coverage of Full Gear and for Disney karaoke. It is going to be a fun-filled extravaganza. After all, Disney is the happiest place on earth, right, Noah?
That's debatable. And I will stand by that. Brian, my Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon guy for life. But I digress. Well, JJ, again, appreciate you. Nothing but love to you, bro. Again, go let the predictions. The form again will be out after we finish calling Rampage and Collision to see if any other matches are added, any other stipulations are added, anything else changes, and of course, anything else that Madman Totally Con might try to throw at us too. So stay tuned. But thank you once again for tuning in. Blah. To City Predicting. Apologies for the technical difficulties. Internet is a bitch. Please like, subscribe, comment, and tell a friend. Hell, I crashed last night. JJ crashed tonight, or he refreshed just because the thing was lagging. Who the hell knows? It's the internet. It's the world we live in, and these are the hands we're given. But anyway,
can't you see this is the land of confusion?
Not copyright. Not copyright.
No, but that'll be next year when we do 80s karaoke.
As long as I don't have to do anything female related, I think I will be fine. Or Wham, or George Michael. Sorry, Sex Saver Jr. Anyway, folks, thank you again.
We need to get Noah to do Careless Whisper. And everybody else in the room can just do the saxophone, just be like, do, 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 do.
That's going to be off kilter so damn bad. Well, you're trying to start a super chat tonight. Stop it. Damn it. Stop it. Thank you, Nathan. Appreciate you. I'm sure I'll have a goal already for Careless Whisper after this weekend of Disney karaoke concludes. And to be fair, that is actually one of my favorite songs because that sax is better than whatever the Wingmen hire for their theme. That three-piece sax band on the fly. Good grief. But I digress. Anyway, folks, thank you again for tuning in to City Predicting. And again, you want to know more about me, know this. Why do I choose to do all this type of crazy shenanigans and fun stuff? It is because I am but a simple man and a lifelong fan of professional wrestling. Damn it! But I digress. So follow me if you choose on the Twitter and on YouTube and Foster1916 for all things wrestling. Shout out, of course, to my entire AEW family on the Twitter and our social media platforms as well. Go check out our latest episode. Well, it's Full Gear Week on the ATW Impromptu. You can check out the entire playlist on my simple YouTube channel. Follow my Twitter for all the prediction forums, all the league updates, and anything else. And a simple hello in your day. And follow the simple YouTube channel to get your own simple segment on the biggest shows in professional wrestling, sports entertainment, damn it, as well as league forums there too. And of course, other updates as well, all underneath the same umbrella at Foster1916. Shout out to the entire AEW family, including my friend Mary Jade, who always continuing to prove that Jade is worth more than gold. Please follow her at Mary Jade as she continues to do her things across the pond. Make sure you follow their productions and Zero and Owen as they cover all Elite Wrestling content every week on AEW Spark. And check out again the newest affiliate, Dutilla, and my Impact correspondent at Ranges of Wrestling, and her review content every week when it's wrestling time, as she covers Raw, Dynamite, SmackDown, Collision, and will be there live to engage in the festivities this weekend. Have a great time, my friend. Cheers to you. If you haven't already, check out our TNA throwback calls with me, Dutilla, and Jeff Meacham. We'll be doing a double feature this coming week, so you get more to feast on for Thanksgiving week. And speaking of Thanksgiving week, and this weekend, and tomorrow night, we're going to die. Well, that's what they think. I might just lose my voice. Here are all the remaining live watch-along events, courtesy of the Jeff Meacham Network live watch-along event specials here that we are doing. It starts tomorrow with what's being christened as the Friday Night War, as we call it, Rampage, Collision, and SmackDown. Then we go Saturday with Full Gear. Next week into Thanksgiving, we have AEW Dynamite Thanksgiving Eve. Then we have Survivor Series War Games. Then we have SmackDown presents Tribute to the Troops. We have NXT Deadline and Fire Resolution. Winner is coming from our Final Battle, and end the year literally with World's End. And then you can stay tuned for all this already in 2024. JJ, we're going to die. Again, you can also follow the Renegade as she talked about on social medias, but definitely tune in after our call Full Gear this weekend for Open Mic Night. It is a karaoke night, much to my chagrin. And it's Disney themed. I already got one song in the book for me. Damn it. I really hope that Chris Statlander doesn't fail me. But check out the weekly Saturday Night Shenanigans at the usual time, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is Open Mic Night, hosted by the Renegade, JJ Williams. As of course, this is all possible because of all of you. So on behalf of the multiverse of media, we simply say thank you. And again, the city predicting, it is not letting up anytime soon. As we do have Survivor Series, to Sean Gardner's point, date and time to be determined. And of course, Deadline, Fire Resolution, Final Battle, and World's End will conclude 2023 city predicting. And we kick off 2024 with Wrestle Kingdom 18. But I digress. More matches have already been announced too for that show. Stay tuned for more on that. And that's all I got to say for now with what's going on across the Superman's brand, Cosmic Studios, and Championship Multiverse Media too. But as always, I like to conclude, there are no winners, there are no losers, there are no betters, just fans, period, with their own opinions for this passion we all share. So at the end of the day, folks, support one another, respect each other. God, why is that such a hard word to comprehend? Protect your mentality too. Treasure your families. Happy birthday, Mom. Hope you're sleeping well. And just enjoy life and enjoy professional wrestling. It is truly as simple as that. But with that being said,
happy birthday to your mom, bro.
Yeah, thank you. She had a glorious 60th birthday, and I am so full of food and ready to pass out now. But with that being said, thank you all once again for tuning in. Please subscribe, comment, and tell a friend. To the Bill Those Vehicles live on demand on either of these channels or any of the channels of the friends and the affiliates of the Deputy Generic Multiverse of Media, including Dory Lou and Statboy Mikey at Statboy Sports Bar. Hit the subscribe button. Help us keep growing our YouTube communities. I assure you, it's not our passion, our content creativity is not leaving anytime soon. If nothing else, 2024 is going to increase it because wrestling seems to have no break and is trying to bring more content than ever. Happy for the industry, worrisome for us and our fatigue. But I digress. And again, we thank you all for tuning in. Give this man some love. Give him a super chat. Give him a super sticker. He monetized, if you will. So show him the love. Definitely show him the love this Saturday. And go ahead. Throw me to the wolves. Put me at your mercy. I already know this is a very freaking losing battle. Y'all are going to freaking punish me anyway. I'm going to have no voice. I'm going to be more hoarse than that idiot John Laurinaitis. And you're still going to have me sing some of the dumbest shit in Disney existence that I probably never heard of. But I digress. Thank you once again for tuning in to City Predicting. So until tomorrow night, where we will kick things off with Collision and Rampage and moving to SmackDown for a long-standing Friday night. Jesus Christ. Make a positive impact in life. And as always, have a good night. For we are fans of professional wrestling sports entertainment. But this has been content and discussion on AEW. Have a good night, folks. So help me if I have to do the friggin' dancing. Superman does not dance. I'm just putting it out there right now. The Simple Man does not dance. He does commentary. Damn it.
Dude, we have video of you doing the Noah Rooney.
That will never happen again. You can't do that on carpet. All right, I'm hitting the button.